Get a first-hand look at CreateAI, Korbyt's generative AI agent for scaling content creation.
What you're going to see here is a new call to action in the UI. You see here in this kind of purple banner, it says Korbyt CreateAI new. This is how you're going to get your hands on it and request access. So if you're wondering, and we'll cover this in FAQs later, how do I get access to this tool? How can I get my hands on it, be an early adopter? Well, you're going to start by clicking this button in the new menu system. This button will also be in the previous menu system. And when you click it, it'll basically give you a modal that says request access, which will reach out to our product team to enable it for you. Once you do have it enabled, you can simply click that button and it is going to take you into the new prompting experience to get you started. So what you're seeing here is a new interface to walk you through, the new user experience to walk you through and get content going. So we're going to say, let's get started. I'm going to use a summer example. As I said earlier, 1 to 2 sentences at most is all you need. You can even go a little bit shorter than that. But I'm going to say, take advantage of the long summer days. Be active after work. Topical with the summer solstice, I think happened last week. So once you enter your prompt, you can then add optional filters. And really what this is doing is giving this simple sentence more context and the type of result that you want. So we're going to go through here. We're going to say this is corporate comms. You see there's a lot of different options to choose from. We're going to make this friendly yet concise. You can choose multiple filters. We're going to move on to visual theme. This one needs to be a bit more nature and landscape. We want outdoors. You can see there's a lot of different filters here for types of themes. And then you can have fun with it. I like to do cartoon. Cartoon is fun. You can see there's a lot of different options. And then you go with color scheme, but I'm not going to choose that one. So once you fill these out, you can then generate a super prompt, right? So AI is all about prompt engineering, right? For those that don't know, and it really, your output is really only as good as your input. So what we do is take all these filters and your simple prompt and create a more professional prompt based off that. So you see here, it says, create a friendly and concise corporate communication messages that encourage the employees to make the most of the long summer days. So it takes what you put in there, what was pretty quick, and really writes a well thought out prompt. This is modifiable. So if I say, you know what, I don't like the tone of evoking feelings of freedom and joy, maybe a bad example, but you can come in here and remove, you can modify, you can add to that before you get ready to generate your signage. So once you're okay with that final prompt, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just jump in here as well. I mean, I think, we're all, most of us should be familiar with the use of say, ChatGPT, and Max nailed it. Its use is only as good as your prompt. But when you look at the prompt Max just created with CreateAI, I don't know about you, that would have taken me 5 minutes, right? And so with the help of that prompt builder, he's just now done this in the matter of 15, 20 seconds. So really, really helpful time savings there.
Yeah, you don't have to be the expert. You can be, but you don't have to be to result in high quality signage content. So now we're going to press the big gradient button. We'll get the signage created. This takes a few seconds, right? It's combining, again, images, multiple text items, placing them into some signage content, and ultimately giving you again, 80% finished result. So I see success here. It's going to take us into edit mode here, and I'm going to collapse the menu. And you can see, right, immediately, it's a cartoon of someone walking outside, enjoying the sunset of a long summer day. Maybe they're a bit northern in the country. He's wearing a jacket, but yeah, nonetheless, you can see the result of content on the left. You can see a new headline reflecting your prompt and a description. It generates an icon, and then I've also included some corporate logo here as well, which I'll touch in a second, how we modify that. For those familiar with Launchpad, this is essentially still a Launchpad, right? You can still modify anything you'd like. You can add your own image. You can overwrite that. You can change the text. Maybe I don't want to say unwind and recharge. Let's just say rewind this summer. Very easy to modify and update before you publish and get out there. And then in addition to creating this entire template using AI, you can also specify and refine further specific elements of this template. So let's say this image is great. Let's try something else. I want to actually do a cartoon landscape of people enjoying outdoor area, similar to Chelsea Piers in NYC after work. I was just in New York at Chelsea Piers, so that's why it came to mind. So we're actually going to augment this image only and leave everything else. So let this run for a second, generate a brand new image. There you go, right? People enjoying after, an afternoon outside at Chelsea Piers, incorporating the New York City landscape. It's a pretty cool result. You can have fun with this. We've seen a lot of early users create a lot of images. They're having a lot of fun with different results. It can create. It can be quite fun to use this. So in addition to all of these options, we also come out of the box with 5 templates. We're going to come soon with more, in addition to making the ability to create custom templates. But we start with these 5, and these are, as mentioned, brand aligned. So you see, as I go through these, you can choose which template best fills kind of the content. So with this more landscape type content, maybe it's okay to cut off half the image. If you had, let's say some characters or people front and center, maybe you wouldn't want this template, and it makes sense to have this one instead. So a lot of different options in versions for you to choose from before publishing. So now I want to get into how do I incorporate the branding? So I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to open into a new tab here. And what you'll see is we incorporate from the tenant settings, which colors to use. So let's say my color isn't blue, but instead it's dark purple. On the dark purple here, you can see the logo is here as well, that we demoed this at Infocom. So we have that company logo there. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit refresh, which will reset this, and you'll actually see immediately that color, right, to that company purple. And you can see, right, this is used across other elements as well. So once you're done here, as mentioned, super easy to publish. You continue the same workflow as today. This can follow the moderation flow. So you can request approvers to look at your content before it gets to your signage. And you could use the current settings in place to require validity dates or which player or playlist this results in reaching.